In my top 5 video game series of all time, 3 of them have already been remade or remastered. At 1, you got the Mass Effect trilogy, that was just recently remastered. Number 2, you got the Batman Arkham games, which were remastered a couple of years ago for next-gen consoles, which at the time was the PS4, and it's not like they would waste resources in remastering a PS5 version. Those games still hold up brilliantly to this day. At 3, you got Resident Evil, and so many different types of Resident Evil titles are remade every single year, it almost seems like, at least, with number 2 being remade and number 3 being remade and the eventual 4 being remade. Those remakes of games are coming out so well that why not just keep making more? Now, another game of mine that I absolutely love and I cherish, after their company shut down in 2017, there was no more driving force for this IP, for this title. What a great day it was today. With a brand new announcement at EA Play, we are surely getting Dead Space. It's such a great announcement. It's super exciting. Dead Space is one of the best original IPs ever made when it comes to video games. The story is just so awesome. It mixes sci-fi and horror together, especially if that's your thing. If you like horror and you like space, you like sci-fi, well, it's crammed together in one. Part of me has to wonder that, EA has seen how successful Mass Effect did with their remaster. The fact that remasters are super successful in general nowadays, and remakes, and the fact that so many fans have been asking for a Dead Space remaster, a remake, or a new game for so long. And just because Visceral Games was shut down 5 years ago does not mean there isn't an opportunity to revive this series, because surely there is. This game will indeed be a remake. Now, I will say, if you guys want more information on what this Dead Space game is going to entail, I'm not necessarily your video game go-to guy. I don't know all the specs and all the details. I'm simply just talking about this because I cannot wait for this to come out. I love Dead Space. I mean, if it's on my top 5 list, you bet I'm excited. And I think why I like Dead Space so much too is because I did get a little bit of a feeling, even if it's small, because it definitely is. It's a much different world than Mass Effect, but certain people who worked on Mass Effect worked on Dead Space. There's even a skin in Dead Space 3 where you can use a suit with the little N7 symbol on his chest. The Dead Space story may sound very generic from a certain point of view, an ancient alien race coming back to take over the galaxy or the universe, but that's just pretty much putting it in the simplest terms possible. There is so much more to the world of Dead Space, and I am just so excited that they are revisiting this property. And interestingly enough, in a remake, this might be the best way to do it, considering this game is quite old. And you're probably thinking that 2008 really ain't that old. But from a video game perspective, it is. The generations have changed now. We're 2 generations ahead from where this came out, which is the Xbox 360 and PS3. Mechanics have changed, graphics have changed, everything about video gaming has sped up. It's just so different. It's a different world now, and the game could benefit from a complete remake. Now, that's not to say that, yeah, let's just remake Dead Space with a new story, new gameplay mechanics, new creatures. No. From the developer interview I watched, they specifically made mention that this will stay true to what Dead Space is all about. It will be the original story, it'll be the original characters, it is just going to be remade for next-gen use. So brand new mechanics, new graphics, they're even changing all the audio in the game and making it just sound better and feel better. I can only imagine how much scarier this game may actually be in next-gen consoles with updated graphics, new mechanics of gameplay, and everything on top of that. These games are scary in the first place. You go back to Dead Space 1 right now and play it, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3, they all have extreme horror to it. I've played those games through and through multiple times. And when you play games after a certain while, you start to end up figuring out details about the game. You know when a creature's gonna pop up here or this and that. And even still, I'd get creeped out, and Dead Space is that type of game that you know when you cross down that corner and you go down that hall and you just got your gun pointed out, laser shining down the hallway, you can't see nothing, you know something's there. So now imagine all of these features, imagine playing Dead Space 1, just imagine that, playing Dead Space 1 for the first time but now on a PS5. It's gonna be so much scarier and so much more thrilling and exciting. This is great. Now of course today was just a teaser announcement. There is not much we really know about this project other than it is just simply happening. So I wonder what are some of the details we are going to be getting in the near future. For example, Isaac didn't talk in the first game. He was completely silent, and that was a developer choice, thinking that a voiceless Isaac would make the game a lot creepier, which in a way it did, but I'm glad they decided to give him a voice in game 2 to broaden out the story a little bit more, add more life to the story and add more detail. I think giving a voice to Isaac was the perfect option, and now that you're remaking the game, you now have the opportunity to actually create new content. Giving him a voice and giving him speech in a remake of 1 could open up the doors to a lot of different things. Now that leads me to the next thing I'm wondering, what's the deal with Dead Space 2 and 3? We all know that Dead Space 2 is by far the best game in the series. It is the critically acclaimed Dead Space. It is the fan favorite out of like 98% of us who have played Dead Space. So remaking number 1 obviously means you would be remaking number 2 and 3. Now this still opens up so many questions though, because are you only remaking Dead Space 1 and then creating a brand new story after that? It would be really disappointing because, like I just said, Dead Space 2 is the best Dead Space. So it would be disappointing to throw out Dead Space 2's story and say, yeah, we're just gonna start fresh. Now, I understand the complaints that people had for Dead Space 3, but I do actually really enjoy that game. I thought that game had a lot to offer. It capitalized on some really cool moments. You know, the first half of the game is very creepy the way 1 and 2 is. Once you get to the second half of the game, once you get to the main planet where the story takes place, it does prioritize action over horror, and I do, like I said, understand the complaints. Although Dead Space 3's story I did really enjoy because it does add that huge Mass Effect kind of scope to the world about how Earth is on the line and all of existence is on the line, especially by the end of the game. So now I will repeat that question is, are you only remaking number 1 and starting a new story from here? Are you remaking number 1 and 2 and then branching off into something different from 3? Or are you remaking 1, 2, and 3, which will eventually lead you into a Dead Space 4, which is what we always wanted and unfortunately never got. So there's a lot of options on the table here, but the decision is the most important part. And certain decisions are gonna make people upset, they're gonna make people happy. It all depends on what route they go. Personally, I think they should just remake 1, 2, and 3 and then make a Dead Space 4. But something tells me that they might want to change a bit of the story going from here on out. Now, I'm just going to make this very, very clear. For the last time, do not screw over a remake of Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2 is the best of the series. It is the pinnacle of what Dead Space is, should be, can be, will be, and all of the above. I'm sure you'll hear certain complaints about not remaking Dead Space 3 and changing it. I mean, for me, it would be a complaint because I do like Dead Space 3, but overall, I think it would be a lot less noise than if you chose to do that on Dead Space 2. So anyways, like I said, there is just so much unknown to us right now, other than the simple fact that we did get our first teaser for Dead Space. If you have not seen it, I will place it in the link below and possibly even throw it up right now if I can. I am just so excited to relive this world, and just like anyone out there who is a Dead Space fan, I'm sure you can all agree with me on that one. Now, until more details are told, all we can really do right now is just get pumped up, so let's get pumped. But just like usual, everyone, that's it for this video. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with all the content I got coming out. And just like usual, I will talk to you all very soon.